really Hensel was an artist and an historian.
Louis Hensel. He was born in New York City in 1849. In 1878, he moved to Hawley, PA. He came up here, saw the area, and I think decided that this is where he wanted to set up his studio. And he set up here a building that still stands, which is one of the centerpieces of the town, and he was very successful. 2,000 or more of his glass negatives, taken between 1895 and 1927, are preserved in the archives of the Hawley Public Library. I've always believed that I was Hensel's assistant. I didn't know very much about him, but I knew about the collection. And at that time, everyone was getting into computers, and we had all the local people thinking they could scan Hensel's. I knew they couldn't. But I was in a business and had a business where we were very competent at doing technical scans. And so I came back to the library. I said to the people, we can do this. We can correct all those Hensels that have been mistreated over the years, ground in with dust, subject to water damage, subject to fungi on the plates. I said, I think we can bring them all back. This was a state of the photographs, a direct copy off the plate. We've lost all the detail up here, all the emulsion is worn off, fungus was formed here. So we would take a photograph like that, and with cloning and cleaning, we could end up with a photograph like that. So you can see the difference and how important it was. Why did photography suddenly in the middle of the 1800s become so popular? Well, prior to that, recordings of people, particularly portraits, was done by local artists, which was very expensive, very time-consuming. And all of a sudden, this technique comes along, which allows people to have their photographs taken, and within 2 days, they would have a print. And this was a marvelous change. They could not only get one copy, they could get many copies. And so that's why it suddenly became so popular. We have a picture of his first studio, and the interesting thing is the camera, wooden camera on the top.
He took thousands, if not tens of thousands, of photographs of northeastern Pennsylvania.
We have in the collection, I would think around 1,400 to 1,500 historic photos. The photographers wanted to use photography like an art form. And so they would go to great trouble to try and get the composition right. But you know, if you took as many photographs as he did, that ability becomes almost natural. He could take a building and make it look so beautiful, where other people would take just a bland photograph. And also, of course, he tried to include his automobile in all his pictures when he finally got one. Portraits were a very important part of his business. And we have a standing portrait of a lady in black. Remember, these are all time exposures, and it's very difficult to keep still for 30 seconds, for a minute, for 2 minutes. And to help the person being photographed, he took a pile of books and put them on end on a table and asked her to hold on to the books. Luckily for us, when we blew it up and exposed it on the computer, we could read the title of the book, which was the Bible that Hensel used to build his studio. And so this gave us a pretty good insight into his operation. I like to think that Hensel would be very pleased what we've done with his glass plates.
Enjoy the rest of this program and every Our Town anytime on WVIA Passport. To find out more information, visit wvia.org/passport.